Welcome to the Swim Swam podcast. I'm today's host, Coleman Hodges. Joining us today, we have got 20-time world champion, 29-time European champion, and Olympic champion in the 50 and 100 freestyle, as well as world record holder in both of those events. We're talking to Sarah Sjostrom. Sarah, how's it going?
Hi. Yeah, it takes a while to go through all those medals, right?
If you're you, I bet it. Yeah, it does. It does. This episode of the Swim Swam podcast is sponsored by Commit Swimming, SwimSwam's exclusive team management software partner. Since 2015, Commit has been providing coaches with swimming's leading workout management software. And now, Commit has team management software too. Commit wants to help you make the switch from Team Unify to a simpler, more powerful solution. Their onboarding and customer service team will walk you through every step of the way. Check them out at commitswimming.com to book your demo today. That's COMMIT swimming.com. You're coming off of a pretty cool performance in Paris. I'm wondering how specifically those two medals are resonating with you in the last few weeks.
Wow, it was just like I could never even dream of coming away from the Olympics with 2 medals. I mean, coming away from my 5th Olympics with that kind of success was just amazing.
Yeah. 5th Olympics. Do they get old? I mean, I think that's a silly question, but going into this Olympics, obviously knowing that the experience of it would be fairly different from the last one, right? From Tokyo. Did you, and also knowing a little bit about how an Olympics goes and what to maybe expect, did you have expectations for yourself or just the experience?
Of course. I mean, before every Olympic Games, I always have high expectations. But this one, I never felt more prepared. I never felt like I had a smoother way, like the all the way into the Olympics. So I really felt like I got stronger every week coming up to the Olympics. So, but of course, I'm always nervous, like that some small things will change, with technique but I felt like all the way everything was working really well. So I mean, I couldn't be happier with that process.
I mean, especially I know heading into the last Olympics, you were dealing with an injury, and so it sounds nice to have a pretty smooth ride.
Before Tokyo, it was not a smooth ride for anyone really, because it was postponed a year. But for me, it was different because when I was finally about to start racing before Tokyo, 6 months before the Olympics, I broke my elbow. So it was another kind of experience to prepare for Tokyo. But I mean, I did a really good competition there. I made it to the final in the 100 free and the 100 fly, and I won the silver in the 50 free, and that felt like a gold medal to me at that point. So I would say Tokyo was also a big success considering the kind of preparation I had, and the Rio was of course also great success.
I mean, yeah, a lot of Olympic success in your past. So then you go into this meet. You've prepared. It's some of the best preparation you've had, as you said, and then you have a dream about winning the 100 freestyle. Is that do I have that right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true. So I just, for some reason, I've seen myself that I could win it. I wouldn't say that I knew I could win it. It's not what it's about, but it's just I think at one time I asked my coach in February. I was like, okay, what do you think? Is 100 free a good idea? I feel like I would be too curious to find out what I can do. So actually we started talking about it already in February, but I was still not 100% sure if I would do it until the same day as I started racing the 100 free prelim. So it's very exciting. I was so scared to if the 100 free could potentially affect my performance in the 50 free. That's the main thing I was scared about. I really wanted to have the best preparation possible for the 50. And swimming 100 free I felt like it was a too big risk to take sometimes, but my coach believed that I could do both. And like you said, I've seen it myself winning it for some reason, but yeah. So I'm very happy I took the chance and to do it.
What was your training heading into Paris? Was it based on the 50 freestyle? Is your training always kind of preparing you to swim a 50 or 100? I mean, we know you've got a great 200 background as well.
Yeah, no, I think I've done work for both 50 and 100 all the way. It's definitely been more 50 training when it comes to like speed training, but I still do quite a lot of volume for being a sprinter. Some of my longest week are up to 40k, but not an average week is around 30. That's what I'm usually at, around 30k. So it's not anything extreme. But the speed workouts are usually more 50 based. But honestly, like the last 3 weeks before the Olympics, I felt like my coach started to lose focus a little bit. I told him, like, are we training for the 100 or the 50 now? Like, I don't know what we're doing anymore. So we started doing a little bit more 100 pace training, but I think that was the plan all the way to like do a little bit less sprints and more pace stuff getting closer to the Olympics. So I had to ask him. I was like, what's happening now? But it went really well. Like I did really well when we did the pace training stuff. So it was not a complaint. It was just I just had to question like what we were doing a little bit. But I think all athletes recognize that a little bit. You know, when it starts to get closer, everyone is like questioning some things that we're doing. And I at least I am. I'm like, are we doing the right things? Should we do like this? Why are we doing like this? Because you really want everything perfect on the right day.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a little ironic to hear that from someone like you who's performed and accomplished so many times that you're still in that boat every time taper comes around of like, is this right? Are we doing it okay?
Yeah, of course. I have to be honest. That's how I feel, and I'm sure a lot of athletes are thinking like that, even if they say that they. I don't know. I think everyone have thoughts like that before a major competition, no matter what kind of competition it is.
I would have to agree. I would assume the same. You know, you're always. I'm sure there's some level of being in your own head a little bit. But speaking of which, heading into the competition, heading into that women's 100 free final, it was the first event on day 5. That was the most exciting session of the meet to me. You had so much happening, and to start with that race, you've been in a lot of fast 100 free finals, and I think that was historically the fastest one. So it's also a little funny to me that that's the one you won when it was so fast. But compared to other 100 free finals you had been in, how were you feeling right before the race?
I was just thankful that I was there and that I was brave enough to do it, because like I said before, I was not 100% sure if I could do it before, but I was still curious. So I came in with that mindset. Okay, I'm curious. I want to find out what I can do. and I'm just gonna focus on my lane, on my details that I want to work on, my race plan and everything. That was the only thing on my mind. And also I really took in the environment, like with the crowd. It was just, everyone know that it was crazy coming out in the stadium in Paris. It was a really cool experience. So I was really taking that in, but also focusing on my race plan.
What was that? What was your race plan for that?
So the main thing I've been working on in the freestyle, so I feel like my stroke is really good when I have my head down, when I don't breathe. Everyone have seen my 53 for a while. It's really working well, but something I have struggled with when it comes to the 100 free is how my breathing pattern should be. Because sometimes when it really matters, before in an international final, I tend to like put my head down a little bit too early and stop breathing, and then I build too much lactate. So this time I was thinking, okay, no breathing until 20 meters, and then slowly go to breathing every stroke. But I don't want to like go too quickly from no breathing to breathing every stroke. So I went no breathing to 20, and then breathe every 4 stroke in like twice, and then I went to breathing every 2, almost all the way until I had 16 meters to go. Then I put my head down again. So it's something in between there after 20 meters. And that's been a challenge, because I haven't really figured out what to do until I did the Olympic final. Then I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. So I tested a few different things in the prelims and in the semi-final, and then in the final I had a strategy. So I just went for that, and then went well.
Yeah.
I had no idea if it would work or not, because it was the first time I really like stick to the plan. So
that's impressive. This process was so last minute.
It was. I mean, I know that my body knows what to do. Of course, like I feel like in training it's working really well. I'm swimming really fast when I do different pace stuff things. So I knew I had it in me, but it's just about getting it out when it really matters. It's always been a challenge, especially with 100 freestyle for me, because it's a race. It's really a race. So it's, even if I know what I'm doing in training, it's when it comes to racing, it's so hard to lose focus on the strategy when you look at everyone else, But I was so into my own race plan this time. So I think that's the key to success for me.
I love the description of that. In contrast, is the 50 free less of a race to you because you're not looking at anyone?
Course it's a race also, but I think because I have my head down all the way,
right?
And it's not that much time. It's just 23 seconds or something. So of course I'm racing there too, but it's in the 100 free. I can see a little bit more of the field.
I mean that's what I meant. Like in the 50 free, you don't see anyone, right?
Yeah.
So
the people next to me, maybe.
Okay.
But I try to not look, but of course I definitely feels more like a race when it's 100, because I need to really have a race strategy and stuff like that. I don't really have a race strategy when I race the 50. I'm just putting my head down and try to swim as fast as I can and try to touch the wall. And of course I try to, I don't know, it just comes more naturally to me when I do a 50. It's like you can wake me up any time of the day and any time of the night, and I feel like my body will know what to do when it's the 50. But the 100 free, I need to have another kind of mindset when it comes to racing and the strategy and stuff like that. And I think everyone who raced the 100 freestyle knows that too.
It's pretty amazing that you say that, because you have raced the 50, like you can swim it at any time in the season. It seems like you can get pretty close to a world record, right? I mean, I think
Yeah.
you've been under 24 seconds a multitude of times. I don't even know the exact number. And especially as you've aged in the sport, you've been at this level for well over a decade. How, do you attribute that to anything specific of that consistency and that being that level of prepared at any point in the season?
I just know that, but like before Rio, I knew that consistency in the 100 fly would take me to the gold medal, and that was something I was thinking about with the 50 freestyle also. And it's even a closer race than everything else, but I felt like, okay, if I'm gonna win, I need to have this consistency of and the feeling that I can swim fast any time of the year. I feel good when I can do that. It doesn't mean I'm doing like a full taper before every competition, but I want to be able to swim a fast race any time of the year. Especially for this Olympics, I had that mindset.
Yeah, yeah, and then I mean, you do swim fast. You touch for gold in that 100 freestyle. Were you feeling pretty good about the heading into the 50 after that 100 freestyle race?
Sorry?
Oh, were you feeling after winning the 100
Yeah.
in Paris, were you feeling pretty confident in your 50 freestyle speed?
Of course, well, I know if I do fast the 100 free, I know for sure the speed will be there for the 50. But I also know that when it comes to 50, it's really difficult to, do everything right when it really matters. So, and I know if I do one mistake and someone else have the best race ever, it's gonna be super close. So, and I didn't have a perfect race in the final of the 53, but I still managed to touch the wall first. But I think it's because I've practiced it so many times now to do fast racing. No matter, like, if I have a bad start, I can correct it somewhere else in the race. And I think 50 freestyle is that's how you win the 50. You need to be ready that you can make a small mistake in the breakout or the reaction or the finish or something. But I feel like even with a small mistake, I can correct it somewhere.
Mm-hmm. What small mistake did you make in that race?
So if you would look at the race, you would see that I dive very deep, and my underwater is not great, so it's a long way up to the surface. And I got a little bit stressed that I was a little bit too deep, and then I started swimming too early. And everyone know how it feels. Swimmers know how it feels when you have too much water on your back on your first stroke. You kind of stop. But I think I corrected it after a while. But the problem was that I started feeling that I was getting a little bit tired the last 5 meters, and it doesn't really happen that often in the 53. But I think also because it was hard to relax when I felt like I was working so hard the first 50 meters, which mean I got tired the last 5. But if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, and again, I think it takes a lot more energy to overcorrect for something than it does to just do
But
something.
in the end, I don't really care if I made some few mistakes. If I won the gold medal, it doesn't matter. So I'm just happy I won that race. I don't care what time I did or anything like that. It's not about that. It was in the 50. It was just about touching that wall first.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you get to do the Walk of Champions? The
I,
at the
I was
Eiffel Tower?
I was supposed to. I was there. I arrived quite early, and I was waiting to go out. But then in the end, I didn't have time, so I was like waiting for 2 hours to go out, and then
Oh my God.
I really wanted to see my friend Mondo Duplantis for the pole vaulting final,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like 40 minutes away from the Eiffel Tower or something like that.
Yeah.
So I had to run away from. I couldn't do the walk, but yeah, I'm happy because I could see Mondo break the world record and win Olympic gold.
Can you tell me about that experience? I mean, just getting to be there and see that. I've seen the video, but being there in person, I'm guessing, is
That
a
was
whole
really
different
cool.
experience.
And I have a story about that. So I had tickets, but not the best seats. But I was lucky that I brought my Olympic gold medal. I had it in my purse. So I used that as a ticket. So I could basically go anywhere around the. So I got the best seats. In the end I was sitting next to my agent, which is the same agent as Mondo Duplantis. Like, so it was really fun. So, and I never showed the ticket one time when I walked into the stadium. I showed the gold medal. It was amazing to see, and yeah, I'm so happy I didn't do the walk by the Eiffel Tower, so I had time to see him jump instead.
That sounds way better.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I just getting to go see other sports or go do other celebrations. I mean, was that? I mean, I know that was very different than Tokyo, right? You couldn't go see other people.
Yeah.
Was it? Did that make the Olympic experience feel a little more real for you, or just like help it set in?
Yeah, I could really feel that there was so much, not only people who are interested in sport, but also other people who follow the sport, like through social media. And I mean, I have friends who are not really watching sport that much, but this time they were really following it, not because of me, but because the Olympics was like another kind of I don't know how to say it, but involved much more people everywhere, and also I don't know, it was just another kind of feeling I never experienced in the Olympics before. So it was really cool to be there and also follow how many fans that were following everything.
Yeah. I've talked to several athletes at this point, and it's really very cool to hear that it seemed like such a positive Olympic experience. Overall as a city. Have you? It seems like you've gotten to enjoy a few weeks and celebrate. How has the post Paris experience been for you?
Well, like every other athlete, I come home and I'm like, okay, what now? But I've been quite busy, honestly. I haven't had many days where I can just sit down and relax and really have a proper vacation. But I think it's good now to do everything I need to do. But of course, some days are a little bit. I feel really exhausted, honestly. Like I wake up and I can do a few errands, and then I need to like go and have a nap in the day because I feel like my body is really tired mentally and physically. But I finally started doing a little bit of training again. No swimming, but I'm starting to go to the gym. I don't have any plan whatsoever when I go to the gym. But I started doing runs, and I'm really struggling with the running at the moment, like other swimmers do. But I feel much better now when I start to do a little bit of physical exercise. It doesn't have to be anything hard, just something.
Yeah. I mean, and you said you don't have a plan moving forward, or what now moving forward?
No, I mean with the training, when I go to the gym, I'm just like working out to feel good at the moment. But of course, I'm gonna continue racing all the way to LA. But it will be at the moment because it's only like 3 weeks away or something. So at the moment, I'm gonna relax for a little bit more and not rush back to swimming. But I will definitely keep on training and keep on, taking care of myself. I think that's the key at the moment.
That I feel like that's a great goal, and I'm so happy that you get to do that. But also that you're like, for sure, oh yeah, I'll swim till till LA. How do you know? I'm sorry if that's a silly question, but like that, it's kind of a long time away. How are you so sure?
Definitely. But I know everyone is asking it, so I can't know for sure, of course. But I really would like to swim 6 Olympics. So I think it would be pretty cool to check that off. And also I really enjoyed the training coming up to Paris, and I think I can do. I'm not gonna train as I've done before. I'm not gonna train for the 100 free or anything. I will definitely only do the sprinting by now. So I think I'm very interested to see what I can do if I'm just gonna train to stay in shape. I'm not gonna do anything crazy. Just have swim with great technique and swim because I enjoy swimming, and then see what I can do when I'm racing just for fun. And I still think I will swim pretty fast by just training like that.
I would put money on it. Yeah. Do you think you'll do World Cups or short course worlds this fall?
Now, this fall I will definitely relax a little bit. Not gonna rush back to racing now. And the short course season has never been something I wanna rush back to. And it's been quite intense after Tokyo. I did the ISL Tour 2021, and then short course Worlds, short course Europeans 2021, and then long course Europeans, long course World Champs 2022, and that and so on. There's been at least 2 or 3 major competitions every year after Tokyo, and I felt like I didn't really have a break yet, so I need to relax a little bit now. And I mean, like I said, I'm already back to a little bit of training, so I'm training just to feel good, and and then I'll see what I'm gonna do. But I'm not gonna rush back to any. I would be surprised if I was in in Budapest or World. I'm not gonna do World Cup for sure, but
yeah, I think that's a wisdom in action there. It seems smart.
Yeah.
I think it's reflecting on all the meets that happened since Tokyo. Like, it kind of feels like that we're done with an 8-year cycle now.
Yeah, that's the right word.
Yeah, and so that's great to hear that you're gonna relax and take your time. Okay, last thing, I forgot to ask about this: the Sarah Sjostrom Invitational.
Oh yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so I just had an idea earlier in the year that I wanted to have a short course competition as close to the Olympics as possible. It was kind of hard to bring in other international swimmers there. I had one strong warrior, Ruta, came and raced with us. Otherwise, it was, of course, Louise Hansson, Sofie Hansson, and Sarah Junevik, and some other Swedish swimmers. But and also between the senior heats, the juniors got the chance to swim some fast 50s, and a lot of the juniors actually broke a lot of personal best times, even after doing one training session this season or something. So it was like the first, or even no training. So it was pretty fun to watch all the junior swimmers coming in, like resting the whole summer, and like so I think, and also the stadium was filled with people cheering. And I tried to go for world records in short course, but I think I was 3/10 away on my first try in the 50 fly. So that was surprisingly close, I must say. So I thought maybe I will get better on my second try or my third try, but I just got more tired. It was really hard because I had 150 every 20. So after 25 minutes, I had another 50, and then so on. So I had like 20 or 25 minutes between every 50. And I felt maybe I will get better and better every 50 I do, but I just got colder and more tired. But I'm happy I did a try, and I'm happy I could be there and inspire the kids. I could take photos with my Olympic golds, and it was a nice way to meet with the fans. because everyone wasn't able to come to Paris and watch. So I'm happy I had a competition like this.
That's yeah, that's so great to hear about. It's so cool that you were able to have that opportunity and to give back to Sweden, I think, and to put on an event like that is so fun and so
it was
fan
a bit of a challenge to continue training for a few days after Olympics. I had 2 days rest, and then I went to the pool once per day and swam 2K or something. It was a challenge, so I was happy when I finally had vacation also.
No kidding. I bet. Yeah. I understand why many athletes opted out.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Yeah. But, well, Sarah, congrats on your summer. And thank you so much for taking the time to discuss it with us.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
You've been listening to the SwimSwam podcast. Stay tuned for new episodes every week. You can take SwimSwam podcast on the go by subscribing on your favorite podcast platform. Look for links in the description below, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos as well.